In Lesson 210, we're going to review a little bit about place value and then practice unit conversion. So you'll need your whiteboard marker and eraser, and your math journal. So let's go ahead and number 1, 2, and 3 on your whiteboard. We have expanded forms, I should say, of numbers. So you're going to take that expanded form. So 4 times 1,000 would be 4,000. 6 times 100 would be 600. 4 times 10 would be a 4 in the tens place. And 3 times 1 would be 3. So taking that expanded notation and putting it in standard notation would be 4,643. Would you please pause the video and do number 2 and 3 on your whiteboard? Just write the answers only. Remember, you want to make sure that you're continuing to build a foundation as a 5th grade math student by doing all of the activities that are expected of you. So number 2, 8,000s, 2 in the hundreds, 9 in the tens, and 5 in the ones gives you 8,295. Number 3, 6 in the thousands, 3 in the hundreds, 8 in the 10, and 1 in the ones. 6,381. Go ahead and erase your whiteboard. And number 1, 2, and 3. Again, you're taking expanded notation and writing them in standard form. So write the answers only for numbers 1, 2, and 3. Go ahead and pause your video and complete that task. Number 1, 2 in the 10,000s, 8 in the thousands, 4 in the hundreds, 1 in the tens, 5 in the ones. 28,415. 90,000 plus 4,000, nothing in the hundreds, 63. 94,000, do you have a 0 in the hundreds place? Otherwise, if you don't, you would have this number. And if I asked you if you'd rather have $9,463 or $94,063, I will tell you that 0 in the hundreds place makes a big difference. And number 3, 9 in the 100,000s, 4 in the 10,000s, nothing in the thousands, 6 in the hundreds, nothing in the tens, 1 in the ones. 940,601. Would you please number 1, 2, 3, and 4? You are going to answer the questions. Number 1, what is 630 divided by 7? Number 2, how many tens are in 1,000? Number 3, 20 times what number equals 200? And 5,000 is how many times greater than 5? Would you go ahead, pause the video, and answer these questions? Remember, I expect you to do this. So number 1, 630 divided by 7. Well, if I just take 63 divided by 7 is 9, and then I add in my 0, 90. How many tens are there in 1,000? There are 100 of them. 100 times 10 is 1 times 1 is 1, and 1, 2, 3 zeros. 20 times what number equals 200? Well, 2 times 1 would give me 2. 1 0 here, 1 0 there. I must add on 1 more. It is 10 times greater. And 5,000 is how many times greater than 5? Well, 1, 2, 3 zeros. It's 1,000 times greater. All right, we're going to go ahead and move to page 61 in our math journal. You'll notice that we do not do every page. If you were in school, I probably would do more of that. But given that we are online, I select what I think is most important. On page 61, it says practicing unit conversions. For problems 1 and 2, complete the tables to show unit conversions. So just remember, if we're converting from hours to minutes, there's 60 minutes in an hour, so we're going to multiply by the extended fact 60. there are 36 inches in each yard. So we're going to multiply by 36 when we multiply yards or convert from yards to inches. So let's start. Remember, you're doing this in your math journal. 1 times 60 is 60. Remember, just ignore that 0 for now and just add it on. So let's just take 2 times 6, which is 12. How many zeros do we add after? 1. What's 5 times 6? 30. And then add the 0 on the end. Number 2, converting yards to inches. There are 36 inches in a yard. 1 times 36 would be 36. What's 3 times 36? Well, do me a favor. You have some space over on the side. Would you please write 36 times 3? So go ahead and multiply 36 times 3. See if you can complete it before me. 6 times 3 is 18. Carry your 1. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10. So 108. And 36 times 10 is just 36 times 1, which is 36, with 1 0 behind it. The next set of problems says, for problems 3 through 6, solve the problem, write an expression to model the problem, and thirdly, evaluate the expression to check your answer. So an adult African elephant can weigh up to 7 tons. At birth, an African elephant weighs about 200 pounds. How many more pounds does an adult African elephant weigh than a newborn? All right, so if I notice here, it's not comparing the same weight. It's comparing pounds to tons. Now, one of the things that I need to know is that 1 ton is equal to 2,000 pounds. So I'm just going to tell you that. So that's important information. It's a conversion. So if we know that an African elephant, an adult one, can weigh 7 tons, we have to convert that to pounds. So for number model, let's put in 7, and we have to multiply that by 2,000. In order to get that into pounds. So at birth, an African elephant can weigh about 200 pounds. How many more pounds does an African elephant weigh than a newborn? So we're figuring out difference here. If you're ever figuring out how much more something weighs, we're going to subtract the 200 pounds. And here we're going to solve. So I'm going to just put X. So let's go ahead and solve. 7 times 2,000 would be 14,000 minus 200. So if you need to, take 14,000 minus 200. The difference would be what? 13,800 pound difference. So don't be afraid to use the margins over here where you have some space to write. All right, number 4. A landscaper ordered 6 cubic yards of soil. So here we're talking volume when we see the word cubic. So far she has used 90 cubic feet of soil. How many cubic feet of soil are left? First thing I notice here is we're talking yards and feet, so I have to do conversion. Well, what I need to do is, since we need our answer in feet, I am going to convert cubic yards into cubic feet. So cubic yard, there are 3 feet in a yard. So if we're talking cubic, we're talking length times width times height. So I'm taking 3 times 3 times 3, because there's 3 feet in the length, 3 feet in the width, 3 feet in the height. 3 times 3 is 9, times another 3 equals 27. So she has 6 cubic yards of soil. We have to take 6 times 27. And here's where I got the 27. There's 3 feet in a yard, and if we're talking cubic yards, I have to take length times width times height. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. And then subtract how many cubic feet she's used. And that's 90. So now I have to do some multiplication over here. So I want you over on the side or up on the top to take 27 times 6. Would you go ahead and solve for 27 times 6? 7 times 6 is 42. Carry your 4. 6 times 2 is 12. Plus 4 is 16. Then I subtract 90 from it. She's used 90 cubic feet already. So 2 minus 0 is 2. 16 minus 9 is 7. She has 72 cubic feet of soil left. Let's try one more together. If I were to look at your math journal right now, I should see all of these areas. I should see every single one of these things. Let's take one more. Number 5, a rectangular room is 4 yards long and 5 yards wide. Lucas is covering the floor with tiles that are 1 square foot. So again, I notice we're talking feet and yards, so I have to do some conversion. How many tiles would he need? Hint. Start by finding the area of the room in square yards. In order to find the area of the room, it's 4 yards by 5 yards. So area is length times width. 4 times 5. Now remember, area we just found out was length times width, which is the 4 times 5. But this is in yards. So what I have to do is convert this to feet. In order to convert that by feet, I need to know that there are 3 feet in 1 yard. So I would have to take 3 times 3 to convert that to feet. 3 times 3 is 9. So I'm going to multiply this all by 9. So we take 4 times 5, which is 20. Now that just becomes a basic extended fact. 2 times 9 is 18 with 1 0 behind. 180 tiles.